Welcome into A to Z Sports Prime Time on a Monday night. I hope your week is off to a spectacular start. I hope you're enjoying the college baseball game, the first of the three potential games in the College World Series that we could see between Vanderbilt and Mississippi State. It was delayed about an hour. We'll keep you up to date on everything happening, delayed due to weather this time, not COVID. But we'll keep you up to date on everything happening with Vanderbilt in the College World Series as we talk about some Titans who made the NFL's top 25 or under 25, all under 25 team. Before we get started with that, though, you need to share this show across the social platforms that you view it on. If you're with us on Twitter, go ahead and retweet the show. In the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, you can get things done that way. If you're so inclined, you can retweet the show. If you're on Twitter and if you're on Facebook, you can share this show. Share now to public. That is how you get your Facebook friends involved. That is how you get all of your Facebook people in their various Facebook groups to get in on this Tennessee Titans conversation over the course of this evening. Because I'm going to tell you which two players for the Titans made the NFL's all under 25 list. We'll do that, and then we'll talk about quarterbacks as well, since we are getting into some football conversation tonight. If you're on YouTube or on Twitch, go ahead and share this show. Go ahead and subscribe to the A to Z Sports YouTube and Twitch channel. If you're on YouTube, go ahead and throw us a like. That's how we'll grow the show that way. And now that more of you are here, we can go ahead and begin the show officially. Welcome into A to Z Sports Prime Time on a Monday night from the DraftKings Sportsbook Studios. I'm your host, Buck Rising, and I am proud, as always, to be presented to you by the fine folks at Two Rivers Ford, a name you can trust, a brand that you know and that you love, making American-made Ford vehicles since 1983. Two Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet or online at tworiversford.com. DraftKings Sportsbook and the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app. Get in on all the action with promo code A to Z Sports. That is how you will get it done and start cashing in on things like the NBA playoffs or like the College World Series. Vandy currently a participant. The Ashton Real Estate Group of RE/MAX Advantage at GaryAshton.com is where you go for your dream address without the stress. It's where you go to sell your home for more if you're in the market to do so. And, of course, if you want to be in your comfort zone this summer, Brymac Mechanical, BRYMAK, Brymac.com. Satisfaction guaranteed on all of your HVAC needs. So let's get in onto the conversation, because I thought about talking about this College World Series for a second night in a row, but Vanderbilt currently, that it took them all of one inning to get, not even one inning, to get the starting pitcher for Mississippi State pulled. It's the first time that's happened in College World Series history. So Vanderbilt up 7-2 right now, bottom of the fourth. We'll keep tabs on it if anything changes dramatically. So with this Titans conversation, though, been a while since we've talked about the Titans, but the NFL put out a list of top players at their positions under the age of 25, the all under 25 team. Two Titans made this list. So what I want to know from you guys, your Two Rivers Ford take here on the Primetime Show, who is the best Titans player? You can only pick one under the age of 25. Let me know in the comment section on Facebook Live, Periscope, YouTube, and Twitch. Who is the best Titans player under 25? While you guys do that, we can talk at length about this conversation. You can include rookies. You can include guys like A.J. Brown and Big Jeff. You can, I understand we haven't seen the rookies yet. Now, there's probably nobody from last year's draft class that you're going to nominate, so it may be a pretty small sample size. King Mofaka, no. Derrick Henry is not under the age of 25 at this point. Let me know in the comment section. We will discuss at length together here on the Primetime Show while you guys let me know, and before I let you know who I consider the best under 25 Titan to be, let us tell you about the people who present the Two Rivers Ford Take each and every night. That's Two Rivers Ford out in Mount Juliet. Not only do they bring you consistency, do they bring you an exceptional product with the Two Rivers Ford Take, they bring you exceptional customer service, award-winning even customer service when you go out and visit their non-commissioned sales staff at Two Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet. There are all kinds of new vehicles for you to go out and take a look at when you visit my friends at Two Rivers Ford, like the new electric Mach-E Mustang. They've just announced that they'll be rolling out the electric F-150 Lightning as well. Two Rivers Ford has all of these great vehicles, and of course, my personal favorite, the 2021 Ford Bronco. Two Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet, or online at tworiversford.com. They present the Two Rivers Ford Take each and every night. So, who is the Titans' best player under the age of 25? Let me know on Facebook Live, Periscope, YouTube, and Twitch. So for me, I see a lot of, and let's read some of your responses here before we get into the conversation, because it's really between two guys, and they both ended up making the all under 25 list. Puka says AJ, Juicebox 678, Big Jeff, Texas Sports 1015 agrees. Robert Lehue says AJ, El Boogie 808, and Lewis L Train Morgan on Twitter and Facebook respectively. Chris Carter as well saying AJ Brown, and as we said, Derrick Henry does not qualify as under the age of 25. Tier Tart for Lewis Chesney. Now, I think Tier Tart is going to end up being their starting nose tackle, which I don't think many people have talked about. I don't think it's all that discussed. I think that when you talk about replacing Daquan Jones, it doesn't get a lot of headlines. But Tier Tart is a solid player. Nate Davis qualifies for this under 25 list. Amani Hooker does too. Big Jeff and AJ, they're all in the same draft class, right? So they are all under the age of 25. Now, Darrington Evans, Christian Fulton, all included in that. That is obviously not a draft class we know enough about to be able to give a fair evaluation on. So it's between A.J. Brown, who made the all under 25 team for the NFL, according to Nick Shook, on offense, and then on the defensive side of the ball, one of two Titans, Jeffrey Simmons. Between those two players, our buddy Michael Kist saying, give me that Nate Davis love, baby. Give me all of it. Mike put it to you best last year, I believe, when he was on the podcast, saying that Nate Davis is a certified shit kicker, and he has certainly become that over the course of the last couple of years. Shaky start his rookie year, but he was thrust into action against Atlanta. The Jameel Douglas experience was not satisfactory for anybody, and Nate Davis really got off to a great head start last year. Certainly, he was a big part of their success in the run game. One would hope, and he's certainly working out with Roger Saffold in the offseason. Now, nobody is built like Saffold. Saffold is built like Superman. But Nate Davis is trying, and I think that he has the potential to step his game up a level this year as well. So between the voice of the Titans destroyed PK last year on the radio about Tart's practice drills. Hilarious, says Juicebox. Yes, I do remember that. And then I remember Paul's apology tour to Tier Tart. He made a whole big deal out of it. He's asking Vrabel questions about Tier. He wrote a damn article on his website about Tier Tart. It was over the top. God love him. But he did it to his credit after slandering the good name of Tier Tart. Titans for Life says, I love how Davis just quietly goes about his business. Nate Davis, all he does is put his head down and work. But for the purposes of this exercise, it cannot be, as good as he is, it cannot be the right guard. It is between A.J. Brown and Jeffrey Simmons. As much as Michael Kiss loves Nate Davis and I love Nate Davis, I'm sorry, it just can't be the right guard. So between those two players, who do you believe is the best of them under 25? Is it A.J. Brown or is it Big Jeff? I will tell you my opinion here in a moment, right after I remind you about our friends at DraftKings Sportsbook and the DraftKings Sportsbook app. I love this damn app. I love wagering, making friendly wagers on sporting events in the DraftKings Sportsbook app. I love how easy it is to navigate and how there are plenty of instructions for me, who's just now starting to dip my toe into the sports gambling arena. Place a bet of at least $1 on any team to win in the DraftKings Sportsbook app this week. And if that team wins in the NBA, not only do you collect your winnings, but DraftKings is also throwing an additional $150 insight credits your way. So download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Do it right now. You can do it while you're listening to me. And use promo code A to Z Sports when you sign up to have a shot at claiming $150 in free credits. Bet on the basketball team of your choice to win their next game, and if they do, you will claim $150 in free credits in addition to your wager cashing. That's promo code A to Z Sports for a limited time only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older, Tennessee only. Wager paid out, insight credits, restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text the Tennessee Red Line, 1-800-889-9789. The best in the business. Promo code A to Z Sports in the DraftKings Sportsbook app. The name Jamil Douglas angers me, says Xavier Clemens. Well, fortunately for you, he is out of your lives. Dom Odell says, DraftKings, I live there. My mail gets sent there. That's right. My address, Dom Odell gets the show in more ways than one. But yes, my address is DraftKings. I get my mail sent there. When people ask me where I live, it's DraftKings Sportsbook, promo code A to Z Sports. Without question. Which of these two players, Big Jeff or A.J. Arthur Juan Brown, is the best of the Titans players under the age of 25? I think that the sky's the limit for Jeffrey Simmons. I really do. But A.J. Brown has had the bigger impact through heading into year 4 thus far.
Today, Tennessee tries to even the series with Indianapolis here at Lucas Oil Stadium.
My boy, I think they had you. My boy, I think they had you. I think they had you. That's crazy, boy. It's highs and lows. I love the lows, but today, hey, get me right. Get me ready for the highs, boy. I'm telling you.
Smith motions to the left. Tannehill in the gun. Blitz coming. Tannehill firing. Pass caught. Brown, 45-50, 45-40, 35-30, 25-20, 15-10, 5, end zone. Ladies and gentlemen, Arthur Juan Brown, 70 yards. Touchdown, Titans!
Body, yada, 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 yada.
That's what you do, bro. That's what you do.
I don't even check the yards. I just play. After the game, I don't even check how much I got. I just whatever I get, I get. Keep running that thing, boy.
High formation. Tannehill gives Henry on the right side, trying to get to the corner. Henry. Touchdown, Titans! Had to wait for the signal, but the big man got it inside the pylon for the big 6.
Let's get this money. That's easy work. That's easy work, Tutu.
Play fake, Tannehill rolling right. Looking downfield, throwing. Caught! Brown with an excellent catch at the mark.
Boy, that good on Sunday, boy. We on Sunday.
Here they come. Tannehill firing complete. Right side, making the catch is Brown.
If I return the onside kick, we're going to go with my receiving yard.
Sanchez to kick off. Onside coming. It's in high in the air. The Titans catch it. 30, 20, 10, 5, end zone. A.J. Brown. Touchdown, Titans. Hey, that's a kickoff return for a touchdown to put this one in the bank.
I called it.
Yes, sir.
I love you, JB. I love you, baby girl.
Final score, Tennessee 45, Indianapolis 26, as the Titans come to Indy and get it done again.
That is courtesy of the Titans. It's A.J. Brown. There's no question about it. Arthur Juan. Dom Odell says, Mike Keith wasn't even amused anymore. AJB is literally automatic. I mean, he's over 1,000 yards, 2 years back-to-back. He's the Titans' top receiver by a mile. He plays like he's the 5th overall pick, even though he was a second-round pick in the 2019 draft. He is the best of the best. He is probably going to be one of the better receivers across the league, presuming that he stays healthy. We'll see how he rebounds from a couple of knee procedures this offseason heading into the year. But A.J. Brown, by far and away, deserves to be in this NFL all under 25 team that they put out today. And we'll talk about quarterbacks momentarily because him and Simmons made the list. But between the two of them and Nate Davis, because he should be factored into this as well, there is no question that Arthur Juan is the man with the plan. Young GOAT, says Xavier Clemens. 1-1 for sure, says Karen O'Keefe. Playing with two bad knees, says Chris Frazier. Isaac Mitchell wants to know when's training camp, Buck. So training camp begins, I looked this up today, actually. Training camp, we all report back, players, media, coaches, all of us, it's July 27th for the Titans. Now, the unfortunate part, Isaac, I assume you're asking because you want to go to training camp. The unfortunate part of that is this year, fans will still not be allowed at Titans training camp because of the fact that they still are, the facilities still under construction. So it's a nightmare for people to get in and out. The football people, the players, the coaches currently working out of the bubble because the facility, as I mentioned, is under construction. So it sounds like fans won't have the opportunity to attend. But if you're going down to Tampa Bay, it sounds like the Bucs are planning on having a fair amount of people in attendance. And, of course, the Titans in the second week of the preseason will be holding joint training camp practices with Tampa Bay, and Gronk, the GOATs, the defending Super Bowl champions. At least it's construction and not COVID protocols, says Clayton Smith. Yeah, I don't think it would be because of COVID. It doesn't seem like that's going to be a hindrance. Now, now here's what I'll say to you, Clayton. I think they're probably going to limit the amount of people who try to attend things like that are unvaccinated. Now, I think that that's still up in the air. I don't necessarily know that that is something. It looks like at this point we really won't know until how they're going to handle things until game day. And it sounds like 100% capacity is the plan that has been announced across several stadiums. I think that it's going to be as normal as humanly possible, as normal as humanly possible at the games themselves. So that is at least a good sign. Luke Corbett says, is it just me or has the facility been under construction for a pretty good minute? No, Luke, it has. I mean, it was all during last season, certainly. It was something that they had in the works, and from my understanding, honestly, it's gone over budget. I think that I think that there's a lot of things that won't be done until 2022, which is unfortunate. My Mima getting season tickets back this season, says Larry Ford. Thank God I can finally go watch live football. Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing all of you, or as many of you as can attend, come back. It's going to be a great time. Let's talk about the quarterbacks, though. Who is the best quarterback under the age of 25? That's the next question that I've got for you. I've got 8 that I've written down that are legitimate starting quarterbacks in football right now. I have not, for these purposes, included Trevor Lawrence or this rookie class, even though there's a bunch of them. I don't think that there's any way that a rookie would be able to supersede, even half the names on this list in year one. So the question becomes, who is the top quarterback under the age of 25? Let me know on Facebook Live, on Periscope, on YouTube, and on Twitch. We'll discuss at length together here on A to Z Sports Prime Time. Who is the best NFL QB under the age of 25? While you guys do that, I will tell you about our friends at the Ashton Real Estate Group of RE/MAX Advantage. That is where you go for your dream address without the stress. That is where you go to sell your home for more if you are trying to take advantage of this seller's market at GaryAshton.com. That is where the best in the business reside. That is where that is where you can find the Titans official real estate agent, the Preds official real estate agent, and the official real estate agency of A to Z Sports Prime Time, Gary Ashton and the Ashton Real Estate Group of RE/MAX Advantage at GaryAshton.com. They will hook you up as they did, certainly, for me. So who's the best NFL quarterback under the age of 25? Let me know in the comment section how you feel about it. So I see a lot of Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is 25. He is not under 25 because I did check. Otherwise, there would be no point in doing this argument. So here, just so you have some reference, and yes, I do see Vandy crushing El Boogie 808. We've been keeping tabs on that. Bottom of the fifth right now, Vandy at bat, up 7-2 in this first game of the College World Series. 1-0 is currently the count with Mississippi State on the mound. So Mahomes excluded from this conversation. There are 8 quarterbacks who I wrote down specifically who I think you could probably have a conversation about. Luke Corbett says one of them. Lewis Chesney does as well. So they start the building with Josh Allen and Drew Lock. You have Joe Burrow, Kyler Murray, Daniel Jones, Lamar Jackson, Sam Darnold, and Justin Herbert. I did it to make it just a round number, just to make it 8. Because Tua, I don't think we've seen enough from yet. And Tannehill is 26. Is El Boogie 808? No, Tannehill, I think, is 32. If I remember correctly, 31 or 32. Justin Herbert, Tua Tagovailoa did not make the cut on this. Jalen Hurts did not make the cut on this. We only saw him start 4 games last season. So I think the sample size still too small. So of those 8 quarterbacks, who do you consider to be the best under the age of 25? Because on the NFL's list that Nick Shook wrote, that's available at NFL.com, that's where we got this initial Titans conversation. They have Lamar Jackson as the quarterback of the NFL all under 25 list. But I do think that there is some matter for debate. And we're actually going to talk more about what Lamar Jackson is doing in the league right now later in the week, because I think it's fascinating and I think it could change the game for quarterbacks who are in contract years. So let's read some more of your comments. Who are the options under 25, says Titans for Life? Well, I believe I've just read them, but I'll run through the list again in case you missed it. The quarterbacks under the age of 25 right now, or at least 8 of them who have started reasonable snaps at this point. Josh Allen, Drew Lock, Joe Burrow, Kyler Murray, Daniel Jones, Lamar Jackson, Sam Darnold, Justin Herbert. That is the list at this point. Donovan says, depends on what offense is being run. No, Donovan, I think you just have to look at them with the teams that they're currently on. We don't have the opportunity. We haven't seen them in different schemes, really. We've seen offensive coordinators change and some of them head coaches change, but nothing crazy, I think, outside of Sam Darnold, who is the first of these guys to basically find a new home, or to have to find a new home. Sam Darnold is the only one on this list who's not with the team that originally drafted him. So I do think that's important context. But, I mean, if you think Sam Darnold being in Carolina is going to shoot him to the top of this list, I'd be curious to hear why you think that way. Karen O'Keefe says Allen. Xavier Clemens says Allen as well. Lamar can run, but usually has noodle arms, says Larry Ford. Well, noodle arms Lamar beat you in the playoffs this last year, so I don't know how much shade I would throw at Lamar's way. Clayton Smith says Josh Allen. So Lamar in a West Coast offense would probably be the best under 25. Again, I think, Donovan, you just have to look at them on face value at this point and say that these are the players. These are the players, and we've seen what sample size we've seen of them. Titans for Life says, I agree. It depends on the offenses. Also, it's just not long enough to rank yet. So I think it's not necessarily, we're not ranking them. You're mistaking what I'm asking you guys for ranking them. I'm not saying, give me, say my rankings are Josh Allen 1, Joe Burrow 2, Lamar Jackson 3, and I'm not doing that as an exercise. I'm not asking you for that. I'm saying which of these guys is the top guy. I do think that it's early enough to be able to discern who might be at least close to the top, or at least have a conversation about who is at the top. If you guys catch if you catch the exercise that I'm trying to do here. Donovan says, how about which quarterback under 25 would you pick to start on your team? Oh, I mean, if you're running the read option, if you're running the triple option, as Baltimore has basically done with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, you're going to kill people, right? You're going to absolutely slaughter people. You could honestly do something similar, not as well, but I think you could do something similar with Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones can absolutely move. And if you needed a very, very run-heavy offense, it would be difficult, but you could find it would be more difficult than any of these other options. Joe Burrow moves pretty well in the pocket too, and he's very efficient with his throws. I think that you could make the case for that. Kyler Murray, I think I don't know that we know enough about Kyler at this point. LOL. Clayton Smith says, y'all are just making this too difficult. Just pick the best. That's what I'm saying. I think, I tried to make this exercise easy, but apparently I was not clear in my intentions. Larry Ford says, if I had to pick one, it would be Josh Allen. You know what, Larry? I think you're right, because even though Lamar Jackson is the reigning, well, he's not the reigning because Aaron Rodgers is the reigning, but even though Lamar Jackson is a former NFL MVP, Josh Allen on his current trajectory is set to surpass him. That is why I think Josh Allen is the best under 25 NFL quarterback. But let me know how you guys feel about it in the comment section on Facebook Live, Periscope, YouTube, and Twitch. Who is the best NFL QB under the age of 25? For me, it is Josh Allen. He looks leaps and bounds better than when he first got to Buffalo. We were all unsure of what to make of him. The question continued to be about his accuracy, even as he made it into year 2. Year 3, he was the head of one of the best NFL offenses in the sport, and he looks to be a more refined version, if you could even say that, a more refined version of Cam Newton. And I think that is going – I don't know what his durability is going to continue to be. He is fairly reckless, I think, physically, but it's getting better. He doesn't, I imagine that he would hold up. And listen, that it may be just that I'm looking at the two of them and saying, yeah, I think Josh Allen is physically built better to hold up than Lamar Jackson. Lamar is much slighter. He's much smaller. It doesn't mean that he's not nearly, it doesn't mean that he's not as good, if not exponentially better of an athlete than Josh Allen is. I'm not making that contention at all. I'm just thinking that sustainable for Josh Allen, I think sustainability favors the more physically durable player. Lamar hasn't been hurt like that, but I would say that physically Lamar would lend himself more to being hurt than Josh Allen would, even if we haven't seen that yet. I don't know if that's an unfair characterization to make, but I think that's fairly commonsensical. I would pick Lamar over Allen because he's had 3 solid years. Allen has had 1, which is a great counter to myself and to people who would pick Allen. We have seen Lamar do it at a consistent level, and we have seen an offense that's been very, very well built around him. I think that Lamar is a spectacular player. I've seen Mahomes play live twice when the Titans have played him. And I have seen Lamar. I think I have also seen Lamar twice live at this point. Because I don't think the year that he ended up starting the back half of that season, Joe Flacco started the game against the Titans for the Ravens in the regular season. I think that was the year that Flacco ultimately got hurt and then Lamar replaced him, but I can't recall exactly. So I think long story short, I think I've seen Lamar Jackson play as many times live as I've seen Patrick Mahomes, and I enjoy watching Lamar more, even though Mahomes is crazy. Mahomes is a freak show. Lamar he just looks like he's moving at a different speed out there. Yes, Joe Flacco beat the Titans 21-0. Yes, that is correct. That was a franchise record in sacks for the Baltimore Ravens. I thought Marcus Mariota was going to die back there. And it was one off of surpassing the NFL single game record for sacks in a game. I think they had 12 or 13, if I remember correctly. I should probably have. Producer Reed is not with us tonight. He has the night off, but I would send Reed scurrying for that. I am fairly certain that they had 12 or 13 sacks in that game, which tied an NFL. Brad Lifford says 12. Baltimore is in a world of shit if he gets his block knocked off and be out, says Brad Lifford. Well, I mean, they were in a world of shit when Lamar had to take a shit, allegedly. And he had to get out of there against the Browns. That was one of the funnier moments. He said he did not Paul Pierce it at the end of the game in his post-game press conference. Clayton says 12 sounds about right. 12 12 or 13 was the number that I remember, but I do think Brad is correct in saying that it was 12 sacks, tying an NFL single game high. It was as deflating a game of football as I've ever watched, and I saw the Titans play some bad ones. Let's finish off this show on A to Z Sports Prime Time from the DraftKings Sportsbook Studios. Promo code A to Z Sports is how you get in on all the action. Let's finish off with a scale of 1 to 10 question, because the NHL announced today that the 2022 NHL Stadium Series would take place here in Nashville. Very exciting. Nissan Stadium to host the NHL Series. The NHL Stadium Series. What is your level of excitement on a scale of 1 to 10? Let me know in the comment section on Facebook Live, on Periscope, on YouTube, and on Twitch. We will do that for our final segment of tonight's show, and then we will get you back in time to watch the rest of this Vanderbilt dominating performance, up 7-2 in the top of the 6th inning right now in Game 1 of the College World Series. You guys let me know, and I will tell you about our friends at Brymac Mechanical, Brymak. That's Brymac.com. That's satisfaction guaranteed on all of them. Each and every one of your HVAC needs. Commercially, they do a great job. Ductwork, they can improve your air quality. Residentially, make sure that your AC doesn't go out in the peak of the summer, because we are getting into the peak of the summer where it's just 93 degrees and humid as hell in the shade, as it was today. Brutal day, brutal week of upcoming weather in Middle Tennessee. Make sure that you are comfortable, that you have properly functioning HVAC at Brymac Mechanical, Brymak, Brymac.com. What is your level of excitement about the NHL's Stadium Series? Let me know in the comment section how you feel about it. In the meantime, Carrot O'Keefe says a 10. Lewis L. Train Morgan says a 1. He's not about it at all. Donovan says a 7. John Bertotti through the roof. He says a 14. Don't live in Nashville or else it would be a solid 8, says El Boogie 808. A lot of 8s there. But he says without living in Tennessee, he says it's a 6. This is a huge for the Preds and Nashville, Middle Tennessee, says John Bertotti. I do agree. I am a 10 out of 10. And my level of excitement for the NHL Stadium Series at Nissan Stadium in 2022. And apparently, so are the Preds. That's all of the Preds players. You saw Jussi. I'm blanking on, how could I blank on Roman Yossi's name? Roman Josi. You saw many of the Preds players wearing their Titans gear. My guy Buck out here, says Beard Casey. That's right, Casey. The grind, it simply doesn't stop, and your boy's got to keep on top of it. But I'm a 10 out of 10. I'm excited as hell about this Nissan Stadium NHL Stadium Series. I think it's a fantastic opportunity for the city. I think it's a fantastic opportunity for the hockey team. I think that we should all make a thing out of it, and I think we should all enjoy the fact that we continue to be a destination city. Now Lawan can chug and rip his clothes off in his own stadium, says Luke. Well, I mean, I'm sure he's thought about it at Nissan in game, but now he has a legitimate opportunity to act like a fool as a spectator and not as a participant. Even though I'm sure the Preds and the Titans working together on this are going to go all out. I'm sure that it's going to be off the charts. I'm sure it's going to be, I'd be curious to see what the outdoor environment, because you've seen various places with the temperatures being too warm and the ice melting and that bogging down the state of play, or making for a lesser level of play given the conditions that they have. So, you know what you're getting with that going into it. But it, again, is such a great opportunity for the city, such a great opportunity for Nashville to be able to show out a little bit. LOL, my guy Taylor was really face down in a river a couple of days ago, says Casey. It's true. I need to ask him if he's okay. I heard he did a solo podcast today with Bussin' with the Boys. So apparently he's in good spirits, but I wonder what wedding stories made it back from Montana. Luan didn't drink one drop of that beer, says Louis L. Train Morgan. Yeah. Well, aesthetics are everything, Lewis, but As the saying goes, observation is a dying art. What is not a dying art is your guys' observation, your powers of observation, your opinions, your commentary. Drive this show. They make this show possible each and every night, and we appreciate your participation as we do every Sunday through Thursday night. Thank you as always. Make sure that you support the people who support this show. That's Gary Ashton, Two Rivers Ford, DraftKings Sportsbook, promo code A to Z Sports, and Brymac Mechanical. 615 Sessions Podcast coming in your feed at midnight Central Time. Joe Rexroad, Alan Bell. We talked a lot about the College World Series and how the NCAA handled themselves. The radio show tomorrow will be a lot of fun. Kevin Kugler, who's actually calling the College World Series, will be on the show. And the Vols head coach, Tony Vitello, will be our College World Series analyst. He'll be there to break down Vandy and Mississippi State all tomorrow between 10 and 1 on the radio program. And if you don't get the radio show live, you can get it in your favorite podcast app, The Buck Rising Show. I wrote an article about Dylan Radins today and how he's in a perfect position to succeed heading into training camp. It's available at AtoZSportsNashville.com, and I'm producing all this great content for you, as well as producer Reed, producer Adam. And I think I'm the only show that's on this week because Austin and Zach are out in the mornings for good reason. They're working a lot behind the scenes. I don't think they're taking vacation this year. But I will persevere because you know damn sure that I'm not tired yet. No!